Solving for x, question 1.1.1, x into x minus 3 is equal to 0 for 2 marks. So this is an easy 2 marks. We're basically going to equate each term to 0. So it's x is equal to 0 or x minus 3 is equal to 0. We've solved this part, and let's solve the second part. So it's going to be x is equal to 3. So let's solve for x 1.1.2. 2x squared plus 1 is equal to 4x. So this is 4 marks. So let's first write this in standard form. So it's going to be 2x squared minus 4x plus 1 is equal to 0. And then from here we're going to use something that we call our quadratic formula. So when using the quadratic formula, there's a standard form which says ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay, and then we have our quadratic formula which says x is equal to negative b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac. All of that is divided by 2a. So our a in this instance is actually positive 2, our b is negative 4, and then our c is positive 1. So wherever you see an a in this formula, you're going to substitute positive 2. Wherever you see a b, you're going to substitute negative 4. And wherever you see a c, you're going to substitute positive 1. So it's x is equal to negative 1. Remember, it's negative b. So the negative 1 is outside, and then you multiply with b. So the b is negative 4, and then plus minus the square root of negative 4 all squared minus 4 times a, which is positive 2, and our c is positive 1. And then all of that is divided by 2 multiplied by our a, which is positive 2 again. So it's x is equal to positive 4 plus minus the square root of 16 minus 4 times 2 times 1, that is 8. And then all of that is divided by 4, okay? And then x is equal to 4 plus minus the square root of 16 minus 8, that is 8, and then divided by 4. Okay, and then from here we can now say x is equal to 4 plus the square root of 8 divided by 4, or x is equal to 4 minus the square root of 8 over 4. Because even when you look at the formula, it's plus or minus. So we've simply separated the two. Then from here you can use your calculator to find the decimal form of these answers. So we have this inequality, x squared minus 2x minus 3 is greater than 0. Okay, so our first step is to simply factorize this. So we're going to have 2 brackets and equate this to 0. Why are we equating it to 0? Because we're trying to find what we call our critical values. The reason why they're called critical values is because they help us, or they guide us into answering the question. Okay, so let's first factorize this. So this is going to be x minus 3 times x plus 1. Okay, so these are this is the factor form of this. Okay, and then we can equate this to 0. So it's going to be x minus 3 is equal to 0, or x plus 1 is equal to 0. And then this is going to be x is equal to positive 3, or x is equal to negative 1. So these are what we call our critical values. So we're going to write them down on our number line. So when looking at the number line, the first value that comes, it's negative 1, and then it's positive 3. And then from here, we have to try to find the values of x that give us an output that is greater than 0, which is basically a positive output. So let's test each interval for any value of x that is below negative 1, any value of x that is between negative 1 and 3, and any value of x that is above positive 3. Okay, now let's first try any value of x that is below negative 1. So it's going to be negative 2 all squared minus 2 times minus 2 minus 3. So this was the standard form. It was x squared minus 2x minus 3. We then substituted negative 2 in the place of x. So this is going to be positive 4. 2 times negative 2, it's going to be a positive 4 again, and then minus 3. So 4 plus 4, that is 8, and then minus 3. The final answer is 5. So all values of x that are below negative 1, they give us a positive output. Now let's try any value of x that is in between negative 1 and 3. Let's try maybe positive 1. Okay, so it's x squared minus 2x minus 3. Let's then try substituting positive 1. So 1 all squared minus 2 times 1 minus 3. So this is positive 1 minus 2 minus 3. 1 minus 2, that is negative 1, and then minus 3. Negative 1 minus 3, that is negative 4. So all values of x that are in between negative 1 and 3, they give us a negative output. And then finally, let's try looking what the values of x that are above positive 3 give us. So it's x squared minus 2x minus 3. Let's try substituting positive 4. So 4 all squared minus 2 times 4 minus 3. 4 squared, that is 16, and then negative 2 times 4, that is negative 8 minus 3. 16 minus 8, that is 8, and then minus 3. 8 minus 3, that is positive 5. So they give us a positive output again. So all values of x that give us a positive output are all values of x that are below negative 1 and above positive 3. So you have to write that down. You then say all values of x that are below negative 1 and all values of x that are above positive 3. So let's solve for x. 2 exponent 2x minus 2 exponent x plus 2 minus 32 is equal to 0. So let's try simplifying this. So it's going to be 2 exponent 2x minus 2 exponent x plus 2 is the same as saying 2 exponent x times 2 squared, and then minus 32 is equal to 0. Now from here, in order for us to make things simpler for us, let 2 exponent x be equal to k. Now for 2 exponent 2x, it's actually the same as saying 2 exponent x times 2 exponent x is equal to k times k. So this is 2 exponent 2x is equal to k squared, which means this is basically k squared minus 2 squared times 2x, that is 2 squared times k minus 32 is equal to 0. And then it's going to be k squared minus 2 squared is basically 4. And then k minus 32 is equal to 0. Now let's factorize this. This is going to be k minus 8 times k plus 4 is equal to 0. And then we can equate each term to 0. So it's going to be k minus 8 is equal to 0. Or k plus 4 is equal to 0. So it's k is equal to 8, or k is equal to negative 4. But remember, we said k is actually 2 exponent x, so it's going to be 2 exponent x is equal to 8. And then 2 exponent x is equal to 2 exponent 3. The reason why we change this to its prime base is it's the rules of exponents that when the bases are the same, you can then equate the exponents. And then k is equal to negative 4. 2 exponent x is equal to negative 4. Then we can't solve this any further. So this is where the answer stops. So this is the final answer. X is equal to 3. So let's solve for x 1.1.5. The square root of negative 2x plus 4 minus x is equal to 2. So this is 4 marks. So it's going to be the square root of negative 2x plus 4. Let's take this negative x across the equal sign, so it's 2 plus x. And then from here we can try to get rid of the square roots, and the only way we can do that is by raising both sides to the power of 2. So this is going to be raised to the power of 2. This is also going to be raised to the power of 2. Because remember, what you do to an equation, what you do to the left is what you do to the right hand side. So we're going to be left with negative 2x plus 4 is equal to 2 plus x times 2 plus x. So negative 2x plus 4 is equal to 2 times 2, that is 4. And then 2 times x, that is positive 2x. X times 2, that is positive 2x. And then x times x is positive x squared. And then negative 2x plus 4 is equal to 4 plus 4x plus x squared. So 0 is equal to, when we take this, all of this across the equal sign, we're going to be left with 0. And then it's going to be x squared plus 4x plus 2x plus 4 minus 4. And then 0 is equal to x squared plus 6x. 4 minus 4, that is 0. And then the common factor here between these two is basically x. So it's going to be x into x plus 6. And then you can equate each of these terms to 0. So x is equal to 0, or x plus 6 is equal to 0. So x is equal to 0, or x is equal to negative 6. Now, in dealing with the square root equation, you have to do what we call an inspection to check whether these answers are correct and state whether the answer is valid or invalid. When the answer is valid, it means the solution that you get on this side is the same as the solution that you get on the right hand side. If they are not the same, then one of these solutions is invalid. So let's try substituting 0 first. So it's the square root of negative 2 times 0 plus 4 and then minus 0. So the square root of 0 plus 4 minus 0. Okay, this is equal to 2. We're trying to see if it's equal to 2. And then the square root of 4 is equal to 2. The square root of 4 is 2, so we can then see that these two answers are the same. So we then state that x is equal to 0 is valid. Then you can also check if 6 is also valid. So we go and substitute again. The square root of negative 2 times negative 6 plus 4 minus negative 6 is equal to that positive 2. Okay. Square root of 12 plus 4 plus 6 is equal to 2. The square root of 16 plus 6 is equal to 2. This is 4 plus 6 is equal to 2. 10 is not equal to 2. So you can see that the answer x is equal to negative 6 is invalid. So whenever you're dealing with a square root equation, it is very important to check whether your solutions are valid or invalid. Let's solve for x and y. 2x plus y is equal to 3. Y squared plus xy is equal to 2. So this is 5 marks. So this is a simultaneous equation. So let's make a third equation. So let's take the simpler one. Okay. So let's take 2x plus y is equal to 3. And then make y the subject of the formula. So y is equal to 3 minus 2x. So this is equation 3. This is our equation 1, and then this is our equation 2. Okay, and then from here we have to substitute equation 3 into equation 2. So whenever you see a y in equation 2, you're going to substitute 3 minus 2x. So it's going to be 3 minus 2x all squared plus x times 3 minus 2x is equal to 2. So this is going to be, I'm going to skip a few steps because I'm afraid we're going to run out of space, okay? But this simplified, it's going to be, or expanded, it's going to be 9 minus 12x plus 4x squared, okay? In brackets, and then plus x times 3, that is 3x, and then x times negative 2x, that is going to be negative 2x squared is equal to 2. Let's take this out of the brackets, okay? So let's see if we have any like terms. Negative 12x plus 3x, that is negative 9x, 4x squared minus 2x squared, that is positive 2x squared. So 4x squared minus 2x squared, that is 2x squared. Negative 12x plus 3x, that is negative 9x, and then positive 9. You take this 2 across the equal sign, it's going to be minus 2 is equal to 0. And then 2x squared minus 9x plus 7 is equal to 0. Then from here we can then factorize this. It's going to be 2x minus 7 times x minus 1 is equal to 0. 2x minus 7 is equal to 0, or x minus 1 is equal to 0. 2x is equal to 7, and then x is equal to 7 divided by 2. This is going to be x is equal to 1. Now let's try finding the values of y. So y is equal to, from our equation 3 minus 2 times 7 divided by 2. Y is equal to 3 minus 7. Y is equal to negative 4. And then let's try finding the other value of y. So y is equal to 3 minus 2 times 1, and then y is equal to 3 minus 2. Y is equal to positive 1.